going on, people? Welcome to Your Connect podcast with your boy Busy B. I wanted to speak on a couple of topics today in regards to motivational speaking and peer mentoring. Now, I've been a motivational speaker for approximately about 13 years now, speaking to kids about gun violence and how to stay off the streets and do better things with your life. I've spoken at tons of places like CHOP, the Police Athletic League, Boys and Girls Club, a couple of schools, and I've been a peer mentor down at a place called McGee Rehabilitation. So I speak to those who are injured. That's in the type of situation I am. I'm paralyzed from the shoulders down. Also, on a ventilator. I was a victim of gun violence back in 2003. Shot in the right side of my neck by my ex-best friend. So I speak to those down there who are victims of gun violence but don't see light at the end of the tunnel. Now, what I wanted to touch on today was, it's a couple of things that's been overcooking my grits. And that's as far as the gun violence that's going on out here in the streets of Philadelphia. I'm in the house. I see it on the news all the time. I just seen a young kid, 10 years old, get shot in the back of the head. And when is enough going to be enough? And people are going to want to put down the guns. I speak about it because I know of it. I was that kid that was bad, grew up selling drugs, being disrespectful to my elders, getting suspended from school. My mom had to send me down south to live with my father, but that didn't last because at the end of the day, it was, how do you respect the man that you don't know? You know? So I wanted to speak on that and touch on that topic because I know what the kids are getting into nowadays. They get out here, they wind up selling drugs for somebody that's a little older. They become a lackey. They get mixed up with a little $250 pack. But at the end of the day, what are you really making off of that pack? Let's say he wants 175 back or he wants 200 back. Then you out there, what you got to do? You selling drugs, you got to eat. So you go into the Chinese store, you go into the poppy store. You trying to make sure you buy you a nice pair of jeans, nice T-shirt or something like that, or a pair of sneakers, something like that. So now your money's gone. So now you're dipping into the pot that you're supposed to return to the old head. And what we call that is basically this nickel and dime bullshit that you deal with every day. That you deal with when people want you to sell drugs just because they're not out there and they don't want to put themselves in harm's way. So they will rather you get in trouble than them get in trouble. So I wanted to speak to my listeners and just let them know that there's better ways to go about, getting money. First off, get your education. Get your education, man. Go to school. They say education is paramount, right? But you want to go to school, you want to get your education, you want to do something great with your life. It's bittersweet because you have to work so hard for it. But it's sweet at the end of the day because nobody has done it for you but yourself. Now, you had help from your teachers, you had help from your counselors, you had help from your parents. Sometimes you don't have that much help from your parents because you're living in a household in, an area where as though your parents are being more of your friends than your parents, whereas though they should be more of your parents than your friends. So you get put in that situation, and now your result is to turn to the old heads on the streets. And sometimes they have great intentions. No, this is not for you, young boy. This is for you. You need to do something else. Sometimes it's, you can come out here, you could trap for me. You could do certain things like that. I've been that kid. I know of it because of what I speak on. Now, getting caught up into that situation, everybody don't get a second chance. You got to understand the consequences that come with that. It could be jail time. You could be doing, 10, 15 years, 25 to life for something. Or you could be dead. Me, I had a second chance because, I believe that the man above saved me for a reason, and that is to share my voice and share my story with those who I can help. So I'm constantly preaching and harping on younger kids to try to do better. Do better with yourself. Do better with your life. Get an education. Graduate from middle school. Go to high school. Get good grades. Now, we know all things don't go well in high school all the time. Sometimes you get caught up in things, but at the end of the day, graduate, do better for yourself, go to college. Even if you might not want to go to college, have a plan. Have a plan on what you want to do, doing something, a way to make a living. Get a job. Don't just be out here doing nothing every day, wind up standing on the corners and hanging outside, making sure nothing goes right or nothing goes your way. So at the end of the day, because you have some of those friends, quote unquote friends, who will say, yeah, we can hang out doing this every day, or we can hang out doing this every day, which is going nowhere. Those are what I call anchors. They're people that will weigh you down, keep you in that same position, don't want to see you float, don't want to see you blossom at all. So speaking on that for the kids and for the young men out here playing with guns, thinking that it's okay, you got to understand the consequences that come with that stuff. The consequences that came with mine was being paralyzed from the shoulders down, getting shot by my ex-best friend because of the things that I didn't want my mom and them, didn't want them telling me what to do because I thought I knew what was better. And if you're that young kid, you think you know what's better, and not really. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you don't really know what's better. So listen to your elders. Listen to them people in school that will help you, that are trying to help you, that are trying to do good things and trying to make sure that you educate yourself and that they educate you to the best of your ability. Doing the right things, whether it's playing basketball, football, that's not the only thing that will lead to a great career. You know, you have other things, being a physician, pediatrician, psychologist, sociologist, veterinarian, cop. Not all police officers are bad. You have a few out there that's just knuckleheads, but not all of them are bad. Firefighters. You know, it's a lot of good jobs out there. You just have to expand your mind to be in the thinking and knowing that you can accomplish any of them. It's like when I speak to my nieces and I always let them know, listen, you have 20 goals, but don't set out to accomplish 5. Set out to accomplish all 20. And if you only accomplish 5, then damn it, we working with something. But if you only set out to accomplish 5, then where are we at? Then that really makes no sense. So I want more for them, just like I want more for all of the young men and young women that are growing up under me, underneath my nieces and nephews, or growing up around their ages. So I would love more for them, because at the end of the day, the youth is the future. That's the future. So what do you want your legacy to be when you leave it behind? My legacy, I want to be known as a person that continue to push the issue on gun violence, on spinal cord research, continue to try to help the youth, to let them know that there's not only one door to getting out. There's a multitude of doors, a lot, whereas though you can get out and you can do different things with your life. Go somewhere, taste new air, graduate from college, get the hell out of Philadelphia, whether it's Philadelphia, whether it's Chicago, whether it's Baltimore, or any of these high crime rate neighborhoods. LA, it could be somewhere in Kansas that could be listening to this podcast, somewhere in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Who the hell knows can be listening to it? But at the end of the day, you want to make sure, at least I want to make sure that I get it out there, because I want to reach those who need a little bit of help. For me, myself, just because I'm in this situation and I'm paralyzed from the shoulders down, I'm on a ventilator, I'm doing pretty okay. I don't harp on things that I could have done. I harp on things that I want to get done, just like school, my book, things that I've been talking about for a number of years. So I'm in the process of trying to get those things done, along with having a walk for victims of gun violence and victims of spinal cord injuries. that stuff that I wanted to get to. Until I got down to McGee, I really didn't know what a quadriplegic was, a paraplegic was, MS. I didn't know what Halo was, but they educated me. They educated me when I got down there, and now I know a lot about what goes on with the human body. Don't know everything because I'm still educating myself, but that's the reason that I want the youth to educate themselves as well. Is because you never know. It could be a person where as though you're one of your friends needs CPR. Because you knew CPR, you helped your friend and you saved his life. That's something that can go on. So at the end of the day, just put the guns down. We need the guns to be down. We need to try to do more things. We're educating ourselves, get more into the community, us as black men. And it took me a while because I was doing a little school speakings and stuff like that. But I figured, you know what the hell? Just do a podcast, because that's what one of the things that are in nowadays is podcasts, and people listen to them. So do a podcast, shoot it, get it out there for people to listen to. Get into your community, do better in your community. Try to help those who see you in your position, and let them know that you don't want to end up in this position, because it's one of those things where as though, listen, not everybody can succeed being paralyzed at all. I'm here, and I was spared my life for a reason. Now, my circumstances are different because I'm not up running around and just jumping in cars. I'm not able to drive. I'm not able to do a lot of things like that. It's crucial having to have help, wash your face, get grooming, get dressed, making sure that you get in your chair, that you transfer, making sure you take your medications every day, stuff like that. Those are the things that I don't want for people that's under me. Hell, I don't even want it for people that's around my age. But it's hard to get those people to stop, because some people have a one-track mind and they're already stuck in their own mindset. So it's easier to try to reach the youth because, hell, they're trying, and at least they don't know. You don't know what you don't know, right? So try to get at them and try to make sure everything is all right with them. For females, for males, I don't only speak to just males. I speak to females as well, because I have 13, 14 nieces and about 7 nephews. So right now they outnumber all of the males in the family as far as the young kids. So I try to preach on them and let them know, look, I want y'all to continue to go to school, get good grades, do good things. Because if you don't, that don't make me happy. Continuously seeing what's going on in the news every day doesn't make me happy. Somehow I wanted to speak up on it, and I wanted to get to certain places where a kid gets shot or this happens or somebody gets beaten. I want to get down there to be able to speak on, when can we stop the violence? But I can't get everywhere. So the next best thing I could do is just a podcast. Doing the podcast, making sure it gets out there so people can listen and they can focus, man. Because I'm trying to do what's best for me, and I'm trying to do what's best for everybody around me. What's best for me is what's best for everybody around me, and me reaching people, making sure that they understand, and that they kind of can always, go to my website if they want to, which is www.blessforgreatness.com. That's BLESSDED 4 greatness.com. And they can always go on there and see my pictures, see who I speak to. They can go on there, check out the podcast, check out the YouTube page, which I have one of those as well, because sometimes being behind the microphone is okay, but I would like to put a face to a name, which people would like to do. So trying to help out the youth is what I'm mainly about, along with, helping out people who have actually been injured and speaking on them and trying to help them out so they can understand there is a life to live, and your life is not over. It's not the end all be all. Because when I was younger, when I seen people in a wheelchair, I thought that they got shot or they were special needs. That was my only two resources of thinking, because I didn't educate myself. So ignorance is bliss, as they say. And yeah, it was a part of ignorance because I didn't get taught that in school. I didn't understand those things. I didn't really realize what was going on and how people can deal with, like I didn't really pay attention to how cancer spreads or how a lot of things go on. So you could try to do a couple of things and try to reach me if you need to. You can always go through the website. I'll always be around being able to speak, throwing out a podcast so people can listen to. And I just appreciate all the listeners that's taken a little bit of time to actually hear me out because that's my main goal is getting to the youth and sometimes it's even getting to adults who will want to open up an ear and listen. You understand what I'm saying? So you can always hit me up. Make sure you subscribe to my podcast and always check me out. I'm your connect. Holla at your boy.
Get your